the room service that never closed. I've always believed hotels remember more than their guests. The walls might get repainted, the linens changed, but the hallways keep echoes like receipts. I work in revenue for the Astoria Grand, spreadsheets, forecasts, the math of desire. I know which suites always sell first, which minibar items disappear most often, which weekends couples choose to fight in a different city. Numbers are honest until they are. Myra, my partner of 4 years, manages guest relations downstairs. We met in the lobby during a snowstorm when she handed out umbrellas to stranded tourists as if they were medals. She has that kind of presence, like she belongs to every room she enters. At home, she keeps her hair tied up with the same pens she signs complaint forms with. I've always loved that about her, efficiency disguised as grace. The night the ledger betrayed me, the system showed a comp I didn't authorize. Room 804, late room service $0. Timestamp 2342. Note, handled personally M. The letter stood out like lipstick on glass. Myra's initials, guest name, Walker D. I knew him. A consultant staying long-term. The kind of man who wears cufflinks on Tuesdays and tips bartenders like it's seduction. I'd seen the way he looked at her when she walked him through a reservation problem. I told myself it was her job to be polite, not his right to read it as permission. I stayed late under the pretense of balancing the week's forecast. At 23:57, the service elevator camera pinged. I shouldn't have checked, but I did. The feed showed Myra stepping in, tray in hand, smile faded, hair down now. At 23:59, she exited on 8, the tray gone. She didn't reappear for 20 minutes. I could have stormed up, I could have called her. Instead, I sat in the cold light of the office and watched the screen where numbers pretended to be innocent. At 00:21, she came back, empty-handed, adjusting her blouse with that small, betraying tug that made my throat dry. I logged off. I went home. I didn't sleep. The next morning she made coffee and kissed my cheek with practiced ease. I tasted metal. "Long night?" she asked. I nodded. She didn't press. She never does when she has something she doesn't want pressed back. I called my oldest friend, Aaron, who runs security. He's been with the Grand since it was still called the Astoria Plaza. Aaron has the kind of face that makes guests think he's only there to open doors, not close them. Over lunch, I told him about the comp, the tray, the 20 minutes. He didn't look shocked. He just stirred his soup. "Do you want me to pull the hallway cam?" he asked. "No," I said too quickly. "I want to believe there's a reason." "There's always a reason," he said. "It just might not be the kind that saves you." That night I waited. At 23:30, Myra texted, "Staying late, guest situation." My chest did the thing it does when turbulence is worse than the pilot admits. At 23:43, the comp log flashed again. Room 804. Special request, wine, no charge. Same initials. I walked the back stairwell instead of taking the elevator. It smelled like detergent and old wood. On 8, the corridor was hushed, lights dimmed to the kind of gold that flatters dishonesty. Room 804's door was closed. The service tray leaned against the wall, wine bottle half drained, 2 glasses, both stained at the rim. 1 lipstick, 1 not. I should have left. I didn't. I stood there listening to the muffled cadence of voices. Then a laugh, low, not hers. Then silence, the thick kind that says mouths are busy elsewhere. My hand ached to knock. Instead, I walked back down, past Aaron at the security desk, who looked at me like he already knew what footage he wouldn't show me unless I asked. At home, she arrived at 01:12. She smelled of wine and hotel soap. She slipped into bed, cold feet against my legs, body curling like nothing was wrong. I held her because habit is stronger than fury. We kept it restrained but close. her hand on my chest, my mouth at her temple. She sighed my name in her sleep, and I didn't know if it was penance or practice. The following evening I confronted her in the kitchen. "Room 804, I said. The words landed like cutlery. She froze with the kettle midair. "Walker needed assistance," she said. "VIP, I handled it." "Handled," I repeated. She set the kettle down slowly. "Do you want the polite version or the one that makes you stay angry?" "Plain," I said. "I went up," she said. "I poured wine. He leaned too close. I didn't stop him fast enough. He kissed me. I kissed back once. Then I pulled away. I told him it wasn't happening again. 20 minutes to make sure he believed me. Then I left." "Do you love him?" I asked. I hated how my voice cracked. "No," she said. "I love you, that's why I stopped." Her eyes were glassy but steady. "But I can't take back the 20 minutes." I wanted to shout, to throw the mugs off the counter, to make her feel the imbalance I live with in ledgers and now in my chest. Instead, I leaned against the sink and closed my eyes. "If you wanted fire, you could have asked me," I said softly. She stepped closer, tentative hand brushing my arm. "I wanted to feel wanted outside the script," she said. "It was stupid. It was selfish. It didn't taste better than you. It just tasted different." We kissed then, slow, testing whether lips can rebuild trust. It deepened, heat rising like the hotel boilers under strain. We made love in the living room, rougher than usual, edged with the need to overwrite an image. We didn't pretend it fixed anything, but our bodies remembered a truth our words couldn't. In the weeks after, 804 checked out. Myra stopped working late. She sent me photos from her desk, coffee mugs, staff roses, little proof of life gestures. Aaron said nothing, but once he left a note on my desk. "Cameras don't erase. People try." Sometimes I still see Walker's name on a reservation sheet and my stomach knots. Sometimes Myra reaches for my hand in public and squeezes twice, our code for "still here." I squeeze back, though not always as quickly as before. We're learning that betrayal isn't an invoice you close. It's a balance you carry, line by line. The hotel keeps its secrets, but in our apartment, Myra leaves the lights on when she comes to bed now. As if to say, no more quiet hallways, no more closed doors, only what we can face in daylight even if it hurts. And I'm man of numbers, man of balances. I'm still deciding whether the ledger of us is worth the variance. So far, I keep choosing yes.